you know.
Good evening. My name is Kyle Wright. Today I'll be talking to you all about fishing. Humans have fished since the beginning of time, and although the general concept has remained the same, the technology involved has drastically changed. Advancements from using the sun, moon, and stars to guesstimate where the fish might be to using accurate maps and sonar devices to find fish. But one thing has remained the same: the chase of a bigger fish each time you go. The great transcendentalist Henry David Thoreau once said, "Many men go fishing all their lives without knowing it's not the fish they are after." Henry David Thoreau could not have summarized the sport of fishing any better. Spending time in the pursuit of catching fish can teach you a lot about yourself, including things like your patience, your willingness to learn, and your personal drive. I've had the opportunity to fish all of my life. Every bit of free time that I had, I found myself fishing, and I viewed each trip as an adventure and a way to better myself. I will explain why I think it's worth a shot for you. We will start with the evolution of the sport and end with fishing and how it can help you in your everyday life. So let's begin with fishing in history. Communities that were established along lakes, ponds, and oceans relied on fishing as a way of life. And although no preserved tools have been found today, it is believed that these early humans used blunt objects such as sticks and stones as well as their hands to catch fish. It was not until it was discovered in ancient Egypt along the Nile River that humans used spears, reed nets, lines, hooks, and poles to catch fish. It is believed that the ancient Egyptians were the first sports fishermen. So let's look how fishing has evolved from subsistence fishing to a sport with millions of avid fishermen worldwide. Modern technology has allowed fishermen to track, locate, and catch fish a lot more efficiently. Sonar devices mounted on the bottom of boats can help fishermen scan and map the bottom of lakes and also tell them where the fish might be. And advanced materials like carbon fiber and fiberglass have streamlined fishing rods and reels. At this point, you may be wondering, what can fishing do for me? Fishing requires a lot of knowledge, and that knowledge takes years to master and hundreds of hours out on the water, and maybe even reading some books on the species that you're trying to target. When you are fishing, you are more often failing than you are succeeding. And this can teach you a lot about what may drive you. You can take each failure as a success because you now know what does not work. When Thomas Edison, who was credited with creating the light bulb, and it took him thousands of different ways to figure out what created the light bulb, when somebody asked him, "What are you going to do with all this useless knowledge of what does not work?" he is quoted with saying, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that do not work." You can apply this to fishing. Every time that you do not catch a fish, you now know what does not catch a fish. In an article written by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, it compares the patience required in fishing to patience required in CPA profession. Proactive patience. Anyone can sit and wait for fish to bite, but actually trying to better the situation by researching and studying the water, that is what proactive patience is. Instead of just sitting there, you are actively trying to better your situation. Proactive patience also leads to stress relief. As you wander off from your everyday life into the world of fishing, you will find that you are relieving your stress. It takes you out of the hustle and bustle of everyday life. And in an article published by the Harvard Medical School, fishing is a natural stress reliever. Post-traumatic stress disorder patients saw relaxing symptoms for up to 7 days after a single fishing trip. The repetitive and simple motions of casting and reeling in creates a meditative state that takes the fisherman out of the hustle and bustle of everyday life. Fishing has changed a lot throughout the ages, but the general concept still remains the same, and it's not always about catching the fish, it's about what you learn about yourself. Next time that you have the chance, I would encourage you to give it a shot. A little sun and some time away from work can do no harm. And always remember, a bad day fishing is always better than a bad day at the office.